This
with
conference will now be
another
recorded.
example. We to develop analytics using MATLAB and deploy on smart devices. So in which we are going to use one example of human activity analysis and classification. Okay, so in which I'm going to use a few things which I will try to explain all of you that what is that particular example and then how we are going to implement out those things. Okay. Okay, so our third example, another example is that we need to say create a smart device which will tell us that to classify that when a person is walking, standing, sitting, laying, those all kind of say options are there. So how it can tell out those things. So what we do, we first log data from smart devices like cell phone. Cell phone has two very important sensors are there. One is acceleration sensor and another one is that gyro sensor. Okay, so with that, what we do, we can just see those data. Now, how do we can how we can acquire that data? We are going to discuss that. Then we perform feature extraction and classification. So quickly, I will discuss about this feature extraction and classification also, and then we see that how we can see that actual say application in working. Okay, so this is our workflow. First, we need to connect and acquire from the smart devices. So how we can do those things, we can see at that place also. Then we can perform signal processing to pre-process that data or feature extraction. Then we can use machine learning to develop a model. And then finally, for embedded devices, we can use certain options to do those things. Okay, so due to that because of these conversions and downloading will take time, so I will show the complete say procedure to you, but maybe we are not able to download right away because of it take a lot of time to burn and download those things. Okay, so first thing that connected devices, so how we can connect and acquire those things, how we can acquire the sensor data from a cell phone to my MATLAB. So there are certain options are available, like we as a MathWorks or a MATLAB support or provide software on handheld devices also. So like if you have Android or iOS devices, you can install your MATLAB on those devices and link with your license. So if you are an active user of a MATLAB, you can use MATLAB mobile right away. So like right now, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to again, sorry, sorry. So uh, I'm just going to turn on my camera so that I'm able to show you those all details. Okay. Okay. So I'm using a Android tab in which I have this MATLAB installed and it is linked with my license. So whenever I launch, it will connect with MathWorks Cloud. You are able to see that it is connecting to MathWorks Cloud. Okay, sorry, it is lost in communication. And then what we could do, we can use sensors of this particular MATLAB. Okay, now it has been connected right away. If I click in this place, you are able to see that sensors option is there. So in this sensors, like you are able to see that all those sensors are there: acceleration, angular velocity, magnetic field, position, orientation. So I just need to switch on that particular sensor and say start. As soon as I say start, what it will do, it will start logging. Now where I have to send these particular say data. So what I could do, I can simply say go on my MATLAB and I can start connector. So I need to define, right now it is connecting with MathWorks Cloud, because of initially what I need to do, initially I need to take that data and pre-process my data, develop a model, and then I embed on the devices wherever it is required. So for that, what I need to do, again, I just want to show, sorry. Okay, so you see that here that options are available, that how I can use my MATLAB. So, sorry, not here. Yeah, so that right now I'm using with my MathWorks account. Okay, so what I could do, I can go and connect with my systems MATLAB. So when I connect with my systems MATLAB, what I could do, I can simply start using as a connector or logging that data within my MATLAB. So those options are available. Okay, so with that, first what we have did, we have acquired that data. That data is stored with us right now. Okay, then next step is that we need, because of that data is some raw data. Okay, so where maybe that, like you are able to see that this blue color is a walking data, this is walking upstairs, walking downstairs, so these data may be mismatched. So what we need to do, we need to work on this data so that I can easily distinguish between these data points. Okay, this, if I somebody say that when somebody is laying and somebody is walking, I can easily distinguish that thing. But when somebody is walking, or somebody is say walking upstairs and downstairs, I'm not able to distinguish in between that. So what I need to do, I need to pre-process that data. With that, finding out the frequency of those say spectrums which are there, or data which is there, then we need to start working on that particular data. The next step will come up, that we need to develop a machine learning model. Okay, so now we have a ready data. With that ready data, what we could do, we can develop a machine learning model, and with that machine learning model, I can use that model to embed on a specific devices. Okay, and then finally what we do, we embed on the device. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going quickly switching on my example, and yeah, okay. So I'm opening a MATLAB file, so that first I just see that data, that what kind of data is there, and that how we can use that particular data. Okay, so you see that this human activity data. So when I go and say that this human activity data is there, so when I load this data into my MATLAB, so what I have these all data points are available. In these data points, what I have this complete activity IDs are there. Here that features are there, different features. So as I said that I'm going to acquire two things. Okay, so here one is that acceleration, to check out whether a person is walking that or moving, or one is that orientation sensor, how a person or say he's sitting, laying, or standing. So those kind of say options we can get out with this data. Okay, so what we could do, okay, so with this these particular things, what we have different activities. I don't know. So these activities will show that all the 5 particular, that a person is running or a person is dancing. So these 5 activities we have chosen right away. So with that, I have this data available. Now what I need to do, I need to work on this data. So what I'm going to do, I've loaded that data. So it has a number of amount of data. So if I load this data and start working on that data, it will take time. Okay, so I have already preloaded that data. Now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to prepare that data. Because of within that data, initially we need to choose out that how much amount of data is required for training. Okay, how much amount of data is required for validation. Such kind of things we need to do in this. So for what we are doing, we are performing a partition, CV partition, okay, with my activity ID and holding out 10% of data. So 90% I'm going to use as training data. Okay, then what I'm doing, I'm just extracting features from this activity ID with this one, and this then testing as a partition data. So test indices are going to store in this place. So what I'm doing is I'm just preparing so that I can pass on my data. Now, because of machine learning tools are requiring a tabular data basically. So what I need to do, because of whatever the array data I have created, that training, X training and Y training data. So X training is just nothing but some features, and Y training is whatever the corresponding activity with that data, I'm converting as a table. So simple command is there, array to table, which I am converting and storing as a T train right now. Okay, now my variable names I'm defining whatever the activity, so variable names automatically has been defined in this place. Okay, so now what I need to do, so what I'm doing, I'm just executing. So activity data already we have loaded. I'm running this particular section. After that, what I could do, I can simply, when this section has been completed, so this section has been completed, my data has been prepared properly, I need to use this data. So what I could do, I can simply go in app section. In this app section, here you are able to see that a section is there named as, just a moment, named as classification learner. You see that machine learning and deep learning section is there completely different, where I have various tools are available which are used for classification, regression, deep network designer. So various products are available. So I'm just going to use this classification learner right away. So I say that, okay, open that classification learner. It will open a user interface for me. In that user interface, I need to load my data and then further. Now the question arises, how we can choose out things. Okay, so I'm just quickly switching on to my presentation once so that we can discuss. So this is a traditional method of programming. What we have some data available. We write down some programs using a computer, and we can get output. A traditional method is there. But what happened in machine learning? In machine learning, what we have data. That means input and output is there. That means what I'm desiring. So I'm feeding those input and output data to computer. Okay, and what I'm getting a program. With that program, I can further give some more data and get results from that. Okay, this is a machine learning. Now another concept is that deep learning, in which again what I'm doing, data and output, and it will create a model for me. But in this case, in machine learning, I can start working on fewer amount of data also, lesser amount of data also. But in deep learning, we require some more historical data, so that because of in deep learning, it is going to learn with their past experiences. I don't need to define features. Okay, I don't need to define, like here I'm defining features in machine learning. Over there, I don't need to define features. So what I could do, I can simply use that input and output data correspondingly. So, but I'm not defining that which one is my input or which one is my output. Okay, I'm just defining the data. It will learn out those features and give a model to us. Okay, so it is just like that, that people are saying that artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence is a very big word. In that, machine learning comes. Okay, in machine learning, some part of deep learning. So we can say that deep learning is a high end of machine learning. Okay, so we can use machine learning, deep learning, depending on need, that what kind of data we have, what kind of functionality we are going to use with this. Okay. Okay, sorry. Okay, so my app has been opened right away, and I have this ready data available in this place also. Okay, so I'm just going to use this app. Now this question again comes. I am taking my example simply. I am a person who learned throughout my career that electronics and communication. I deal mostly in hardwares. I deal mostly in some kind of say electronics, basic electronics kind of stuffs. I'm not a data scientist overall. How I'm going to use this machine learning or deep learning kind of things within MATLAB, or why we use these things? What are the benefits? So benefits are like that this app will allow me to perform all those steps, okay, without writing a single line of code, without understanding things. Only basic things are required. I must aware about that, how my data is going to pre-process and how I'm going to import my data. This is enough. So I'm assuming myself as a newbie, and what I'm saying that I need to start a new session. Within that new session, it asks me to choose data from where I need to accept that data. Okay, so I say that okay, I need to accept my data from my workspace. So you see that okay, I'm canceling it again. Here two options are there, from file or from workspace. So I'm saying again that from workspace. As soon as I say workspace, it automatically try to load those data into this place. But it has number of data points are available. We need to choose that which kind of data I need. So I have created this tree train where I have defined that okay, my features, my activities, everything will be available. So I'm just going to select out this tree train data in this place. Okay, I have selected this tree train data. What it's doing now? The question comes that when I load the data, how I distinguish that what are the predictors, what are the say responses. So what it will do, it will automatically do it for me. You see that here it automatically says that activities responses are activities a double 1 to 5 kind of numbers. So many options are there, but it automatically select out those things. Okay, and you see that when I go in predictors, those activities are unchecked. That means these are my predictors and these are my responses. I'm good to go with this data set. Now the question comes that how I choose a validation method. So there are certain validation methods are there, like cross validation and holdout validation. So like right now, what I need that whatever the data I have selected, I need all the data for training so that I can get better results. So what I could do, I can choose cross validation. In cross validation, we can choose number of folds. That means number of times it will reshuffle my data to get accuracy. Okay, if I choose holdout, so if I have a larger data set available, in that larger data set I can define that how much amount of data is going to keep for validation and rest of amount of data is going to keep for training. So I'm right now for this example choosing cross validation, which is a by default thing with 5 folds only, and just say that start session. As soon as I say start session, it will load my data into this classification learner and start showing me a scatter plot of that data, which I have loaded right away. Sorry. Sorry, in sharing, my system is quite slow. So really sorry for this inconvenience, but okay. Okay, so now it will try to show me that data which I have loaded, because if I have somewhere around 26 much amount of data is somewhere to sorry, 21,668 kind of data points are there. So you see that right now that original data set has been shown, that all the activities has been laid in this place. All the 5 activities are showing in this place to me. Now what I need to do, I need to start training that thing. Here also that if I haven't selected features, so I can go and select out features, that what features need for training. Those options are there. I can perform PCA, principal component analysis. So I just need to click on enable. So within interactive manners, I can perform all those things. I can compute misclassification cost also. Okay, in this place. Now the question arises, these model type, which model type is good to use for my this data set? As I said that I am a person who is not a data scientist. So how I can choose those things? So right now it is opening that specify misclassification. So if I have some misclassification data, so I can define that misclassification data also in this place. Okay. Now in this place, so many algorithms are there. You see that it says that tree method, decision tree method is there, discriminant analysis, logic regression classifiers, Navi bias is there, support vector machine is there, nearest neighborhood is there, ensemble classifier is there. So many say algorithms are there. Which algorithm I need to choose? Because if I run this example so many number of times, so I know that which particular also you see that this particular is not going to fit on this data set, so it is grayed out. I'm not able to use this particular for this kind of data. So I need to choose that what method I'm going to define in this place. So there's one option that I can go and choose all quick to train, okay, or all tree method, or all discriminant method, or all methods. So what it will do, whatever the applicable methods are there, it will automatically try to apply with those things. Okay, so what it will do. Okay, so before that, meanwhile I'm explaining, I just need to open my parallel pool. So you see that I just interactively what I did, I just try to launch parallel pool. That means I am going to open more number of instances of MATLAB in background with the help of parallel computing toolbox. So interactively, I just try to open that thing. Okay. So here also I know that, okay, in this example, this boosted tree method is the best method. So I just go and select out that, okay, boosted tree method is I'm going to use in this place. Okay. Sorry, I have started that thing. It is not going to select right away. Let's first complete this. Okay, so I think so. It is just going to start in a moment. Okay, after that, what I could do, I can choose use parallel option. So if I have a parallel computing toolbox, this option is by default available. So if I'm going to use multiple number of algorithms, it will automatically distribute my data in those number of cores. So like right now, my system has only 2 cores. So if you have more number of cores are working on a workstation kind of thing, so it will automatically work for you. Okay, and then just I need to simply say that train. Okay. Forward to open earlier. Okay. Okay. I'm going to select that boosted trees method. Why it is not selecting? Okay, and then I say that, okay, train this model. Okay, so you see that tree has been selected right away, and I just say that, okay, train my model. So what it is doing, it is trying to train my model with this particular, okay, ensemble Bostic trees method. It is trying to train with this. Okay, so what it will do, it will train those things and tell me that accuracy also. So if I select multiple algorithms, if I'm not sure that which algorithm is there, so every algorithm is trying to show me that what is the particular accuracy for my model. Okay, so meanwhile it is when it is working, I just go ahead with this. So these steps we have performed. So in the end, what I'm able to get, I'm able to get this accuracy of 98.3 percentile. So if I'm happy with this one, I can go ahead. Otherwise, what I could do, I can simply go and again do with some process with my features. I can perform PCA in that, and then later on, what I could do, I can simply come back again and train those things. Okay. After that, what I could do, I can simply say uh, export my model. So when it completes, we will see the because of it, I have a uh, amount of data, so it will take time. So then I can export that model, and that model I have already exported and stored into my system as an ensemble model.mat kind of file. Okay, so if I say load this thing, so ensemble model.mat, it will show that what kind of say data or model we have created. That model, what we could do, we can simply start testing those things, whether my model is working perfectly. So whenever we have tested that data, so what I'm able to get validation accuracy of 98.29%. So whatever my model is predicting 98 point something, I'm getting in this place also as a 98 point something percentile in this place. Okay, but whenever I evaluate that performance, it is somewhere on 97.59, which is quite equal to 98 point something. Okay, so we are testing that accuracy with the loss itself. Okay, then what we are doing, we are saving our model, and so which file I have shown to you, this classification model in this place. And now my model is ready. Now I need to embed my model onto the device. Okay, so that it. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to open out this model. So I need to wait a little bit, or I'm just going to stop because of it will take quite a lot time, and we have to complete all those things. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to open out this thing. But before opening these things, we first get a little bit aware about that what is Simulink, how we can get all those sensors, these kind of say blocks, these all blocks, from where we can get all those things. Okay. Okay. Now with this, I'm going to launch Simulink. So here this, you see this Simulink icon is there, or you can simply type down Simulink on your MATLAB command prompt. It will launch a Simulink start page where I can go and select out that what kind of model I need to create, either from templates or either from the blank uh, models. Somebody has unmuted. Can you please mute yourself? Because of my voice is reverting to me. Okay. Okay, so you see that this options are available. So if I go further, I'm able to see that whatever the modules I have all the templates available in this place. I can click on create a blank model. With this blank model, it will open a canvas for me, on which canvas we can design our say algorithms in form of pictorial representation, how or where from where we can get out those things. So you see that this library browser is there. So as soon as I open this library browser, it will launch a window where I have those all blocks are available. Now you're able to see that here that this continuous library is there where certain number of blocks are there. Here that math operation library is there where a certain number of blocks are there. If I navigate further, I'm able to see whatever the license I have all the block libraries available. Apart from that, I have these other libraries are also available, like this Android device library is there, Arduino device library, Raspberry Pi. So these libraries are there. So by default, it will not come along with MATLAB. We need to install these libraries when we install our MATLAB license. Okay, so like here you see that there are various say blocks are available which will be used for a specific device. Like right now, if I need to write on a ThinkSpeak directly to work on IoT, so I can use write or read kind of block. If I need to use UDP, so these all things. So from where I can get all those stuffs, like here that I'm seeing that audio and video kind of thing. So I can use Android mic, I can use Android speaker, camera, video display. Those all things I can use. From where I can get all those things. So for that, what we have this add-ons option is there. You see, when I go on this get add-ons, okay, or get hardware support package, any of the options, get add-on and get hardware support package. So I'm clicking on this get hardware support package. So when you are a licensed user of MATLAB, your license is in active service. That means in maintenance. You can go in this and download whatever the things are available freely in this place. Apart from community you can download from anywhere, but for hardware support packages, for say models, those all things. So like you see here, if I scroll down, I am able to see that this is Simulink support package for Android devices, which is already installed on my system. Or if I go and check out about that Raspberry Pi hardware, or I can choose about Arduino. So I can choose out any of these hardwares which is required.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so I'm just taking. So you see that what I have a Raspberry Pi, a Raspberry Pi 3B plus model. So I can use this Raspberry Pi 3 also. Even if you want, you can use an Android device also. So you can use Ethernet shields, Wi-Fi shields along with this, and you can embed codes on these also. So process is same, whatever the process we are seeing right now. So right now that uh, it is going to develop. So as soon as it will embed on this device, it will automatically show an application in this place and launch that application for me. Okay, so let me check what is the status of that. Oh. So let us complete this thing. Meanwhile, we can continue with our presentation, and we see further thing over there. Okay. Okay, so in this example, what we have seen, like right now, I have shown you that MATLAB from where we can acquire that data within MATLAB environment. Signal processing I haven't shown, but machine learning I have shown. Because of this will take another half an hour time to show this particular whole thing. So I have shown this machine learning thing, that how we can use that classification learner. Okay, and the embeddable option, which is ongoing right away. So let's hope that it will work perfectly, and we see that what kind of applications has been downloaded on that. Okay. Meanwhile, we move ahead with other thing, that deploying analytics using MATLAB and optimal partition it on an edge device on cloud. So basically a smart traffic monitoring using Raspberry Pi webcam. Okay. Okay, so this is a typical scenario we all face, that a lot of traffic is there. Like generally when we prefer to go somewhere, we check on the Google that what is the traffic at that moment, so that we can choose a specific route at that place. Okay, so what we are going to do, we are going to monitor that particular traffic and perform some kind of analytics with that. Okay, so you see that we can what we could do, we can say mount those kind of cameras with Raspberry Pi on the traffic light, and we can say upload those things on the ThingSpeak or a data aggregator, and then whatever the analytics are required, we can perform all those things. Okay, so with this thing, what we have, our objective is quite simple, that we need to measure, explore, and discover traffic patterns, provide live local traffic information service, and for solution we are using Raspberry Pi and webcam, automated deployment of vision algorithms on embedded sensors. So how we can embed a computer vision algorithm on embedded sensors. Okay, so this is that thing in which we are going to use as a edge node devices, Simulink program, and then a data aggregator as a ThingSpeak. Definitely we are going to use at that end. Okay, so you see that this is a recorded video right away, in which what we are seeing, that number of cars are moving. Okay, so what we need to do, so this has been taken in US NATIC, MathWorks office. So whatever the number of cars are there, we are recording those things. With this particular Raspberry Pi, we are getting insights from that data. So this is a setup which we have created, and we are taking those things right away. Okay, so we say as a car counter setup kind of thing over there. Okay, so first thing first, that we need to start prototyping or creating a model. Okay, so for that creating model, we use Simulink to develop our logic. And initially what we could do, we can just use that camera feed to check out that whether it is working perfectly or not. Okay, so for that, so I'm not using actual one, I'm just showing this thing. You see that what we are doing, we are just using that file and a video viewer, and we are able to see those things, that okay, videos are working perfectly. Now what we are doing, we are using a vision foreground detector, so that we can detect out that foreground from this and see that what foregrounds are there and what actually. Okay, now what we are doing, we are removing those noise from this. Okay, now we are performing blob analysis so that we can see, say, draw a rectangle on those cars which are moving. So you see, cars are moving. So this is an inbuilt example. We talk about MATLAB. Okay, so it is an inbuilt example. You can simply go on documentation, and in computer vision you are able to find out this example. We need to embed same example on Raspberry Pi. For that, what we need to do, so we have seen our model. So I'm just going to back and check what happens to my actual model. Oh, it is taking time. Okay, fine. So here what we are going to do, we need to, so like if I go back further, like you see in this place, a model, when I see this model here, we have chosen this multimedia. Okay, as well as that video viewer is there. So what we could do, we can simply replace this particular block and video viewer block with Raspberry Pi camera, as well as that ThingSpeak write or Raspberry Pi display, those things. So when I say about this is my final model. Where is that? Yeah, so this is our final model. In this, what I'm saying, that inputs and outputs are replaced by Raspberry Pi things. And after that, what we could do, we can simply, so same thing we are doing in this place. So what we are going to do, we are going to download those things, that same thing which I told you, that we need to download hardware support packages for Raspberry Pi, download Simulink support package, add into your MATLAB, now you can get that library. So I will show that library, that what kind of sensors are available in that place. Okay, so similarly that sensors are available. Now we need to replace those things. So video capture, okay, and SDL display. So first we are going to check with this. So it is running on a Raspberry Pi, and sorry, yeah, on a Raspberry Pi, and we are getting that just only. Then what we are going to do, we are just going to say that, okay, in embed on specific device, okay, with XML mode. You see, running on a Raspberry Pi device right away. Now we need to just replace. So you see that we have replaced this thing, and sorry, so the between model is same. Okay, now we need to embed that to Raspberry Pi. So same process, we are going to use that, and with that what we are doing, we are just counting those things, and with things speak right, we are writing that how many number of cars has been moved from this particular location. And with that, what we could do, we can get such kind of insights, like you are able to see that at what time duration the traffic is heavy and at what time it is moderate or very low, so that you can simply choose out that when to you have to leave your home for your office. Okay, let me see. Oh, I don't know why in sharing mode it is quite slow, but it is taking time. Let's see, we can continue. Okay, so meanwhile, so what we have did in this place, uh, we develop a prototype initially and check out. That means we are develop a algorithm, that what kind of algorithm we need to embed. First we check the algorithm. If my algorithm is working perfectly, we check with Simulink camera and Simulink video display. If it is working perfectly, we just use that hardware device. It could be Raspberry Pi, it could be Lego Mindstorm, it could be say Android or iOS. So depending on your needs, that what you want in that particular setup, and burn on that particular device. Now the thing is that whether it will work in infinite loop. So definitely it will work on infinite loops. You see that whenever we have those models, like in this model also, we have given that a time duration as a 10 seconds. So after 10 seconds, my application will stop on my Android phone. But if I require that it should work continuously, so I just put infinite in that stop time, and it will run in an infinite loop at that moment, so that it can continuously acquire and send out those things. Now the question arrives again, I'm going back in this place, whether I need to load a complete video to find out those things. No, I need to count the only cars. Only car count need to be uploaded on my ThinkSpeak channel, so that I can get those car counts and perform such kind of insights. Okay. Now, so when we talk about ThinkSpeak for small scale deployment, so what you can simply use that ThinkSpeak, your connected devices, your algorithm. You can, as I showed that in ThinkSpeak, you can write your MATLAB codes, and you can connect with the external data or business systems also, so that it can acquire and work on those things. But if you want to deploy, like sometime it happens that you are working on a project which cannot be uploaded or which cannot be used on a public cloud, you need some kind of private things. So those options are also available. For that, we can use this MATLAB production server, so that your code will stay safe. Or if you want to work on directly on Amazon cloud or Azure clouds, so what we could do, we can use those options also. So even that when we go for a large scale production systems, so for those large scale production systems, we support the different databases cloud storage and IoT platforms over there. Okay. For analytics, we use MATLAB Production Server. So what is MATLAB Production Server? I just quickly let you know. MATLAB Production Server is a product which will install on a machine, and you can put your code over there so that anybody else cannot see your code, but they can use your complete application. Because of it happens that whatever the code or whatever the models you have developed, you don't want to share with everyone, but you want that let's suppose that AIMS is our customer. AIMS has developed some kind of application for a neuro things which can be accessed by various doctors, so they can feed their data and get results only. So they are using that production server. So doctors in AIMS, what they did, they use that production server and embed that their codes over there. So now people from other AIMS or other locations, they are just feeding the data and getting results, that what different results are there. So you are protecting your IP. So for large scale business systems like visualization, web, and custom apps, those all things could be possible along with MATLAB. Okay, so I just showed these 4 examples apart from the other examples which are for cheer lights as well as that Android location tracking. Okay, so what we have seen that MathWorks address IoT challenges. So it will connect and analyze IoT data with ThingSpeak and MATLAB. You can deploy analytics algorithms using MATLAB and different toolboxes. You can deploy in smart devices and code generation and embedded target support. Deploy in cloud using ThingSpeak and MATLAB production server. So on cloud also you can perform. So MATLAB is address all of your challenges which we have initially think of. Okay, now the question comes up that how you are going to learn out those things. Maybe sometime it happens that you don't have latest version of MATLAB, you don't have things available, how you learn out those things. So for you, these some courses are there which are free for everyone. So you can learn anytime, anywhere, access from your web browsers within the product. Okay. You can learn by completing those tasks. So it will give you a task. So it is look like an actual MATLAB, say a desktop. With that, what you could do, you can simply complete those tasks, and in the end, you can get a proper certificate for that. Sorry. So whenever you complete that progress, you can get a certificate by your name itself. Now, what kind of courses we have? We have these 7 courses available, so which you can complete. So link has been given, that matlabacademy.mathworks.com. You can simply log in into that place, create your own account, and these all courses are free and all are hands-on courses. Can you please mute your mic? Okay, so these courses are free, as I said, that anybody can just register and access these courses. For these 3 courses, Simulink on-ramp, Stateflow on-ramp, and Control Design on-ramp, you need MATLAB on your system. So for that, you can request, if you enroll for these courses, you can request for a trial license. You can get a trial license for that duration. These 1, 2, 3, 4 courses are run in your web browser, so you can simply go and run out over there. Okay, let us check that where our model has reached. Okay, so it has been started code generation. So it's generating codes for deploying. Okay, so meanwhile, if you have any further questions, we can discuss. Let's see that it will work. Somebody please share your PPT. Okay, I already discussed with somebody. I will share out. Now, I can take questions. Hello, I'm audible.
Hello.
Yeah. So somebody has asked Aditi Raj that I see your code takes time to run. Will it run in real time? Yes, it definitely run in real time. I don't know that what is the problem with sharing. Whenever I'm sharing my screen with these kind of platforms, my MATLAB start running slowly. I tested yesterday, and within 10 minutes it has been downloaded on my device. But to show, I just remove that application. It will be my mail ID will be in my presentation, so you can get it from there, that place. Any other questions?
Hello.
What are the required toolboxes? Yeah, please. Somebody is saying hello. Yeah. So required toolboxes, it totally depends that what tools are needed by you for your application. I'm just trying to open. You see that my system is quite slow right now. So you see that this particular all the products are there. Depending on your need, you can select out product from this. If you are a academician, so you can buy a campus-wide license or campus-wide suite kind of thing also, in which you are able to get all the products which are shown on this screen right away, and those products are for unlimited usage. So you can buy those things also. It will also consist that MATLAB online training suits. Apart from those 7 courses, we have more 11 courses which are full-fledged. Like these courses are 2 to 3 hours time duration, but those courses are full-fledged courses for MATLAB online training suits. Okay, somebody else has some question. Where we can get video tutorial for MATLAB for IoT. Okay,
Sir,
so
actually,
yes, please.
sir, hello,
Your voice is
hello,
breaking a lot.
hello,
Please.
hello,
Hello, hello, tell
hello.
me.
Hello. Sir, actually,
Yeah, Mr.
hello.
Noor Alam. Yeah, please tell me.
Sir, actually, hello. My voice is not clear. Yeah,
It is
yeah.
clear.
Sir, actually, I want to learn MATLAB platform.
You want to learn MATLAB platform also? So I have given you this particular link, matlabacademy.mathworks.com. In MATLAB on-ramp, you can learn
Okay,
out
okay.
about the basics of MATLAB. Okay, machine learning, deep learning, image processing.
Okay, sir.
So those all 7 courses will do you give you that much amount of say information so that you can start using MATLAB.
Start from scratch level.
Yes, yes. MATLAB on-ramp is a scratch thing. People who just know mathematics, they can start using these things.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay. So I'm just going to show that video tutorial. Somebody asked for video tutorial. So here you see when you go on the bottom of this mathworks.com page, over there you have this videos and webinars available. In this video and webinars, you can get recorded things as well as that live. So whatever the live webinars are there, they are free of cost. You can simply register and join at that moment. So you see that various videos are available. So when you talk about any of the topic, you can go and simply in this place. Okay. is MATLAB support for partial reconfiguration. What does that mean? That means you want to edit some kind of app and reconfigure that app. Archana Bhamare. If it is that which I am understanding, that reconfiguring existing app, which is not possible.
Sir, partial reconfiguration. It is partial reconfiguration. In case of VLSIs, we can use programmable devices, right?
Mm-hmm.
Am I audible to you?
Yeah. So you are talking about that FPGA
FPGAs,
devices?
you know. Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir. Exactly. Exactly.
It is possible.
Yes, sir. Okay.
It is possible. So we support in HDL. When we talk about HDL, we support devices from Xilinx, devices from Intel, devices from Microsemi, and if you have some independent targets also, that is also supported. So we generate codes for dependent or independent kind of HDL, either Verilog or we say VHDL, both of things.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so it's a different M file like human act.m showed by you are built in MATLAB or composed by you. No, it is not composed by me. It is not built in say function, but you can go in community and you can get that file. It has been developed by Set, which is a developer from MathWorks, but you can get this particular complete model of human activity within MATLAB file exchange. So you can say that MATLAB file exchange. If you just search out in Google that MATLAB file exchange, you can download those things from that place. Or you can see that this community link has been given right away. Okay, so I just click on that community and I will go at that place. Here that various options are there, MATLAB answers. So apart from MathWorks support team, worldwide users are also giving answers to your questions. So you can ask any of the questions at that place also. You see that MATLAB answers, file exchange, Cody challenge, different blogs are there. You can participate in Cody challenges also. Okay, let us check what's happening. I don't think so it will work today. Okay, so now it is building. Compiling has been done. Now it is building. Let's see that something good we see. Expanding system code. See API generation started. Meanwhile, any other question? How do we configure Pi with MATLAB? Okay. For Raspberry Pi, I have shown you already that you can download a support package. With that support package, it has all the IO information. Okay, so it is ready. It is just going to generate a report for me, and then it will show that thing. Okay, so for Pi, that similar kind of support package is there, where we have different IO information available about that board. And here you see that this in hardware board we have Android device. So what we could do, we can go and select out at this place Raspberry Pi. Okay, so I will show once it will done. Raspberry Pi, Arduino, BeagleBone, Lego Mindstorm. So these are, or you can say that some RTL SGRs are there. So these are some low-cost hardwares which are directly supported. So if you want to take a look at what kind of hardwares are supported along with MATLAB, you can simply go on MathWorks web page, and supported hardware link has been given under products. So you see that here that products is there. in this products, we can go in supported hardwares and we can find out that what hardware are supported. You see, hardware support package and services. Okay, so you see that these are all the ARMS, Arduino, Intel, National, Raspberry Pis, Xilinx, Android, ST Microelectronics, Keysight. So these are there. So all vendor list has been given in this place. You can simply go and navigate those kind of hardwares. Okay, so any other question meanwhile?
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Zafar sir.
Yes, sir,
So I think
please.
people they want to know your mail ID. So it is good if you will write it down on the notepad or something.
No problem. I can write it down right away.
Okay.
Anyway, it is coming along with presentation, but I will write it down.
Yeah. And second thing, thank you so much for the enlightening talk on your interfaces mobile application with the hardware. I think this is the one of the best session, I think, according to me. Okay. So
Thank you, sir. Thank you. And really sorry for this thing. I don't know what is happening because of my system.
No, it's okay, sir. There are some technical problems that are always there with the. Yes. It's okay, sir. So thanks again.